All right. Welcome back to the BFR podcast presented by Sports Mockery and Fanatics. My name is Dave. I cover the Bears for SM. I'm joined by my good friend, co-host Ficky, Chicago Bears content creator, covers all things Chicago Bears. Check him out on all socials at It's Ficky Baby. And I guess right now we have Jack here on the screen as well, a little earlier than expected. But Jack, who is a producer, also Bears content creator as well. Follow him on Jack Scroggs _.
That's
right,
it.
Jack?
Yep, that's her.
All right. I'm not used to saying your social yet, so you had to look. Kind of had to squint here. But anyways, we are live. We have a Bears preseason, the final one. It looks like they're going to move to 4-0 on the preseason, which is electric. And kind of a lot to discuss. I didn't think going into this one. What do you say, Fick? You got something?
No, I was thinking of something because I was like, there was a infamous team that went 4-0 in the preseason.
I was going to
bring
it up.
Lions, and they ended up going 0-16 in the regular season. So
I wasn't going to bring it up.
Are we on pace for that? No pun intended. No, I'm just kidding. There's no way it'd be that bad. But look, I'm never going to be mad about winning games. The question is, how do you guys feel? Do we feel this is going to translate? I mean, none of the starters played today, so this one really doesn't count. But how are we feeling about being 4-0 in the preseason is the real question. Dave, what do you think?
You want me to go, Jack? So honest to God, I feel like two emotions. So I feel like one, that this means absolutely nothing. Like, does it mean anything? No, not at all. However, does it mean everything? I think it does. And are we going to the Super Bowl? I really do feel like it. No, I'm being honest. It feels so good because winning is great. And I guess we didn't get a lot of taste of that over the last, 3 years. But to see how deep the roster is, because that's the reason we're winning here, in my opinion.
For sure.
Sorry, the Chiefs. There's about 8 minutes left, and they just picked off Tyler Reed. So
Austin Reed.
Austin Reed.
At least he got some playing time. Jeez.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyways, I don't think it means anything. However, it does make you feel good as a fan. 4-0 is 4-0, and you just ride into the regular season feeling really good about yourself. However, you lose week 1, that shit's out the window. So,
True.
Jack, how do you feel, man?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Obviously, my mind's like Super Bowl right now. 4-0 is a nice start to it.
Yeah, it is.
So that's immediately where I go. It's just like it's Super Bowl time. 13-4. I did do a little bit of a schedule where you look at the schedule and you're just like win loss kind of deal. We did that for the
prediction.
Prediction. So I just ran a prediction and 13-4 is what I got. So then that's playoffs. 4-0 probably. Again, I'm delusional, but this team doesn't go 4-0 without it being something, right? Who cares about the Lions thing?
You would think, right? There's got to be something to it. You know what I mean? Like, the difference between though, like, are you average versus like amazing? That's kind of nuanced and hard to tell. But you would have to walk away from this preseason as a whole, at least thinking we're not gonna be bad,
right? Like, don't both of you feel good? Don't you guys feel good? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
At least, or let me do this. Maybe bad's not the word. Like, complete utter dog shit, which we've kind of seen like the past couple of years, like where you're just like no chance, like you're going to be last in the NFC North. I don't think that's the case. I mean, we already didn't think that, but like walking away from preseason, I would think that we kind of, maybe it's a little bump where we're like, ooh, yeah, it's not as, maybe there's a little bit more confidence, like I should say, that's sprinkled over top of this feeling that we have. So yeah. But the good thing is, though, which I've noticed from these preseason games, is a lot of the players that we've seen make plays, maybe not this game because there's a lot of these players that played today are going to get cut, but a lot of the players making plays that we've seen over the preseason game are roster players that aren't really on the bubble, right? There were some bubble players, right? But a majority of them, you're like, oh, we know you're making the team, or we know you're a starter. So that feels good, because when it's like a bunch of, I guess we can call them scrubs. Like, that's kind of degrading, but like people that aren't locked in, or bubble, on the what do they call them? On the bubble?
Fringe bubble. Sure.
Fringe. Yeah. Thank you. Jeez. So appreciate that, Jack. But yeah, like, fringe cuts that are making the plays. Then you're like, how good is our team really? Because some of those guys may not even be on the team, or who they're going against. It's typically other players that are not going to be on teams. So it's hard to really analyze, like, what does that performance really mean? So I don't know. That's just my opinion, but like, what do you guys feel? Are you the same way where it's like you walked away and thought, yeah, like most of the players that made big plays are like locked in?
Yeah, I think this is going to be this roster cut is going to be hell for Poles and company, because not only are there a lot of good players, not saying they're superstars or stars, but just a lot of good depth at a lot of different positions. So to only have to keep 53, it's brutal, man. It makes me wish that Torrey Taylor exemption actually went through the entire season, where you get that extra 54.
Yeah.
Because I like a lot of these players. Now, I think some will be able to be stashed on the practice squad, but I do believe that we're going to be seeing at least 2 to 3, maybe a handful of guys that might make an actual impact on other teams, just because, roster cuts every year. Teams are able to kind of steal, kind of pick up, basically if our wide receiver room, our cornerback room is so deep, right?
Saw it again today.
It's good for other teams, and so for me, I think it's bittersweet. I think we missed. I mean, a couple of years ago, it was like, our wide receiver one was Darnell Mooney. No defense to him, right? But after that, it was what, Dante Pettis at certain points.
Yeah, it was.
So it's like, to come this far, to have the depth that we do at so many different positions, a lot of injuries today too. We'll get to that later, but I don't envy Ryan Poles and company. However, you got to applaud him for making this so difficult, because he's finding this talent. He's drafting it, like you said, Ficky, building through the draft, something that he's been, wanting to do. It's a focal point. And of course, I mean, some of these undrafted free agents, right here, another play. Is it Reed? Roddy? Not Roddy.
Ready?
Yeah, Ready.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was him who just did another play on the ball.
Yeah, he had 2 picks today and a pick 6. I mean, I'm probably the MVP of the game, to be honest.
Yeah, his ball hawking ability is great. But anyways, Jack, how about what Ficky proposed? How do you feel about it? I'm sure similar.
Yeah, absolutely similar, especially for what you just said, the wide receiver and the cornerbacks. Those like the two, what's the word? Like the most rostered positions are those two. And so, yeah, it's definitely tough. What's like usually the common maximum number of DBs a team would hold? Is it more than receivers?
Sometimes.
6.
Yeah, because you have nickel
6
as well you worry about.
Isn't it 6?
6, 7, but that's about the same as wide receiver. So each team's a little bit different, but you're doing about 8 is the most probably you'll see, and probably 6 is the lowest.
Yeah, but I mean, all in all, it's a great problem to have. Like Dave just said, like we were Dante Pettis team and like Darnell Mooney. That's all we had. Now we're like looking at like 6, 7, 8 guys. Those guys at the bottom that are like maybe they have a chance to like be somebody. Like that's a really good problem to have. So I mean, yeah, it's tough, but that's the business. And I'm sure that if these guys are good enough and other teams see it, they'll have no problem going somewhere else. It just sucks we can't have.
Oh, for sure. And here I actually have leads me to a good question here. Every year we see this. Someone does well in the preseason. Bears fans fall in love with them, and I don't blame them. Right? You're just like, hey, we love performance and results. They end up getting cut. It happens all the time. So looking at this roster, looking at this preseason so far, well, I guess it's over now, but looking at the total preseason, who on there that you thought performed well is going to be that surprise cut? Could be a good amount.
How about you go first?
Ooh.
We've been taking the stage here. Let you go first with this one, because I have one, but I want to see. I'm kind of curious on yours.
You know what? I think it's got to be one of the wide receivers.
Yeah.
There's one I have in mind.
Yeah, you know what? This is the problem, right? We saw Nasimba Webster play well this week. He played well, I think, in week 2 as well. Dante Pettis went crazy last week. So, like, it's one of those two. I'm not sure which way they're going to go, but I do not think that Dante Pettis and Nasimba Webster are both going to be on this roster. So maybe that's a cop-out because, I could pick one, but I don't know. To be honest, my gut is like I have no idea what they're looking for as their wide receiver 7, or wide receiver 6. So one of those two I think is going to be the surprise cut for me.
Okay.
Jack, you said you had one?
Yeah, you know what? Now that you say that, though, mine's fraud. Mine's not even real. It doesn't even make sense. I guess a surprising cut. We'll spin zone it. A surprising cut would be Colin Johnson Possibly, I feel like he had one really, really awesome game and then sort of disappeared. I don't know if he saw the field, though. We discussed it a bit. For
Injury,
at least
right?
week 3. We were like, we didn't.
It's undisclosed, though.
Yeah.
Like I've looked, I've searched. No one has talked about it
at all. But he wasn't even
Like,
in pads last game, and I don't think he was in pads today.
Yeah,
So
someone
my
said he was
question is why?
suited. He said he was suited but
today?
no pads.
Yeah, like interesting.
So, I mean,
no,
If you're
and no one's
injured,
asked.
if you're injured, why are you suiting up? And then why are you suiting up without pads?
Right. The whole thing. Yeah, right.
The fuck?
It's very weird. I know. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I have no idea.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
That sucks too, because that was literally the first game, and we were all like, "Oh, we can't." We were talking about storylines. We're like, "Oh, we can't wait to see what this
We were
turns
way
into,"
off.
and it did not turn into anything. Like that's crazy.
So I
Dave,
mean,
what about
but
you?
Colin Johnson. So Figgy, who is your two? You gave me two.
Well,
but
yeah, it was December Webster or
Yeah.
or Dante. One of them is going to be gone.
yeah, Dante Pettis. So the interesting with Dante Pettis, because on this depth chart that I pulled up here, it's weird. It has so Colin Johnson's all the way back up. It goes Keenan, Rome, Velus, and then Colin Johnson all the way at the end. And then Dante Pettis, similar. It goes DJ Moore, Tyler Scott, DeAndre Carter, and then Dante Pettis. It is weird. Now this is back early August, so a couple weeks ago. But I would think Dante Pettis. Yeah, well, that's my question here because today was kind of rough.
It was.
Did he not get stiff arm too
He did
on that run?
No.
By,
That was him. Yes, it was by Steele for the touchdown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
he got
him, right?
stiff-armed to the
It was
ground,
weird.
yes.
I was like, wait, he's a receiver, but he's playing DB there, and God, it looked awful, honestly. But that was brutal. He also had the punt, which I'm like, man, we do not have a punter. That's a huge red flag. I know we got Rome back there, but even then, I'm like,
Rome back there.
I don't want. It's weird because like you say that, Vicky, but I'm like also like it's like the do it, the Kermit the Frog meme. It's like, do it, with the hood.
Yeah, with the hood.
I'm like, do it because I want to. It's electric. I know we're gonna get something. However, I don't like the possible injury because then the wide receiver room is not as electric. Yeah. However, I wouldn't be opposed to throwing him back there. When we need something big, right? It's fourth quarter. We need a big punt return. If we don't have a solid contributor like by week 1, I guess, or week 6, and then also playoffs. If we're in the playoffs, I know we're talking playoffs here, but say you get the playoffs, I throw him back there. I know we're talking about his career, but I think it'd be fine, to get a punt or two back there if we could, because he's shown that he has the ability to break a couple big ones. So you also don't want to see him get injured. So I think that's interesting. However, my pick, honestly, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but I think Velus might be gone.
See, I saw some discourse on this today, and
because he didn't even start as a kick returner today.
I took that the opposite way. I mean, I could be wrong, but I took it as like, they don't need to see. They don't need to see the reps. I have no idea.
That's what I was thinking.
He could get cut
because he's probably the best kick returner. No?
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. He led the league last year in kick return yards average, like per kick return yards, like led the league. He didn't have any touchdowns, but like he was returning the ball better than most people returning the ball. So you would think with this new kick return rule that's a perfect guy to have on your team. Also, like if he was just a running back, actually, if he wasn't a returner, then I would probably agree with you more, Dave. I'd probably be like, look, they're now moving him to running back. They're trying to figure it out. Like find him a spot on this roster.
Pick. But if I had to go a surprise cut,
that would be
that would be because then it's not only because it's not even the play because it's a draft pick, right? It's like you're essentially giving up on a guy you selected 3rd year. I know he's older. I know So for me, that would just surprise me. But I could see it actually happening. I really could. Because the Bears have so many problems, or not problems. They have so many, good problems because of the depth. And Velus can be he can be a liability. I know he has that kick return. Was there a comment?
No, yeah, sorry. I had to throw it up, Jack. Sorry. Led the league in kick return yards after fumble, maybe. Sorry. We shouldn't laugh at that, but
that is very funny. But also, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on DeAndre Carter today, because I thought today was a brutal show.
It was not good.
He got, first of all, that punt that he didn't catch, which I know maybe you let it bounce. I get that. But it's like sometimes I'm like, just catch it. Just catch it. Because he got demolished, pushed back with ease. I know he's not the biggest guy on the field, but then the awareness, to just get pushed back into the ball. I mean, that could change. That's a game changer.
Bro, we lost games because of stuff like that.
Yeah,
easily.
Well, and I love it too. And I know we talk about it with Velus. We don't get the Bryce Young trade without him consistently fucking up in 2022.
That is true.
So you got to give. True. God, the Chiefs are just airing it out on us right now. I know. I forget that we're live. We are. There's 4 minutes left, but they just another deep ball from their backup quarterback book.
Yeah. This is a tough preseason game to find the excitement for. Yeah, for sure. I mean, shout out to them because they're putting. This could be some of their last games. So, but
real quick, my question: Carter, does he make the team? Is he a lock after what we saw through the preseason?
We need a punt returner. If just for that, yes. I don't say that confidently. So if it is if he's cut, I wouldn't be surprised. But just because we literally, your point, we don't know who's catching the punt, I think he's still our best option.
Yeah, so. I see what I don't know. I don't know if you keep him because it's 1 year deal. He was signed 3 months ago, something like that. So it's so recent. And you can't practice squad him, right? That seems strange to me because isn't he a bit older?
To sign,
right? To sign and staff kind of thing. That wouldn't make sense. So it's
no,
you sort of just get rid of it. I feel like that's easier than Velus because again, we've talked about it a million times on the show that Velus is a locker room guy, and the guys love him. So it'd be sort of fucked, in my opinion, to you know what I mean, to cut Velus cut Velus and then keep DeAndre Carter just for punts when Velus is capable, I guess, of punt returning. So,
but think about this though. We literally signed someone last year, Tory Taylor, right? Or not Tory Taylor. I'm thinking of that's the punter. Who was the something Taylor?
San Francisco.
I remember.
Yeah,
San Francisco guy. Yeah.
We signed him literally just to return punts last year, week 4 or something like that. I don't even remember what it was.
Trenton?
No, I'm thinking Trenton Gill now. What was that guy's name? Yeah, look that up, Dave. I don't know why I can't.
No, it was Trenton Taylor.
Trenton Taylor. So we got I got the Taylor part right. You got the Trenton part. Perfect.
Yeah, he was back in 2023. Yeah.
There you go. So we literally got someone just to return. That was literally all he did. He wasn't on any other special teams. He literally just returned punts, and we gave him a 1 year deal for that. So I guess I'm saying that it's maybe not beyond the realm of reality that something like that could happen where you just sign someone for return or keep someone on the squad just to return punts.
Yeah. Hey, Jonathan Owens is getting beat in coverage right now. Like I said,
oh, no bueno. He's still in?
Karma. Shouldn't have Simone wearing that fucking Packers.
You know what? That's fine.
No,
get the karma out now.
I am shocked he's in. That is weird.
Well, that's what I think about Tyler Scott. That whole thing is strange to me. And I saw people spin zoning it on Twitter being I'm glad he's getting reps. But I don't view it as the coach are just get some reps, man. Just get ready for the season. It seems so strange to me that Tyler's still playing, better yet the entire game.
Yep.
It is weird. So let me pull up that roster real quick. So Tyler Scott, this was just a couple weeks ago. It was, beginning of August. August 10th is when this one was released. And it's the unofficial depth chart. I get that. So Tyler Scott at this point, which was 2 weeks ago, it went, where the hell is he?
That's not good.
Oh, there he is. So he was second. So it went DJ Moore, Tyler Scott, Carter, Dante Pettis. And then on the other side, it was Keenan, Rome, Velus, Colin Johnson. So for me, Tyler being second behind DJ Moore on the depth chart here. Well, I guess I can bring it up.
Yeah, he's wide receiver 5, and he's wide receiver 4 is what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm. No, right? For sure. Last year.
No, but it's weird. You don't have your wide receiver 4 playing the whole last.
Right.
I guess you need, but you also might just need somebody to play.
That's true. Because we talked about Colin Johnson's not out there. Also, what's his Nasimba Webster got injured today. So
yeah. Let me go ahead and share this. So We'll just bring it up while we're talking. It would make more sense to be kind of do it, actually. Here we go. Get Jack on the screen. Let me pull this up, boys. Let's see if you can.
Yeah, we
can see it here. So 2024 Bears depth chart. Again, unofficial, but that's what I'm talking about right there. You see at the top, it's DJ Moore, Tyler Scott. Then you got Keenan and Rome. So DJ Moore, Keenan, Rome, and then Tyler. I just think it is weird to have a guy who's supposed to be wide receiver 4 playing this late in the game. Now he's dicing him up.
Yeah, he looked good today. Other than that first drop. Other than that, he bounced back.
Which drop is kind of an issue when it comes to Tyler, but he had 9 targets, 6 receptions on 9 targets, 99 yards. He also has a few yards he has 1 rushing attempt for 17 yards on the ground. So he's over 100 yards from scrimmage today.
That's good.
It's pretty good. Yeah. You want to see that. You got to see that.
Here's a question for you, because I saw this on Twitter and I didn't think about it. So we have a new offensive coordinator, obviously, with Shane Waldron. Loves to run 2 tight end sets. Obviously, we know that there's 3 tight ends on this team. That is the minimum. All right. That might be it. But is there a possibility that there's a 4th tight end? And I'll tell you where that roster spot comes from. Does this offense require a fullback as much as Getsy's offense does? So a surprise cut is Kari Blasingame. I'm not saying I wouldn't want him on our team. I think he's a pretty decent fullback, but due to the offense that possibly, we don't know, but just going off of last year and the year before that in Seattle, the type of offense Shane runs, is Kari one of the guys that could be a surprise cut to make a 4th tight end on the roster? Or even if it's, let's say, not a 4th tight end, they go 7 deep for wide receivers instead of 6. Do you guys think that will happen? Is that expectation? Like, I didn't think about it until today. And I'm like, man, did he even get snaps this preseason? Like, I don't even remember him being.
There was a fullback dive today, but I don't know if that was Kari back there. Was it?
I'm not even sure.
Let me see here. I thought, did we not sign him to a contract?
We did. We extended him literally
3 years.
Yeah, we extended him this offseason. Never mind. Disregard everything I just said. Never mind.
But I see it. I know what you're talking about.
And not only that, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jack. No, go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
Not only does he run the 2 tight end set, but he runs the 2 running back set all the time, where it's almost like a I formation, but it's very weird. But he did that a lot last year with K9 and Charbonnet. It was the same thing, is that he would run those. So it was interesting to me. I didn't know that we signed him this offseason, or maybe I don't remember.
Was it this one or was it last one?
I might be wrong. I'm trying to bring it up.
But yeah, I mean, regardless, it is strange to have a fullback in sort of like an air raid type offense where it's just like, it's predominantly like quick guys on the field, things like that, No,
it was 2023. 2023 is when they signed him to a 2-year contract extension. So you could see it. Yeah, you can see that with that. If it was this year, for sure, you wouldn't do that unless he had, a terrible
injury
camp
or something.
or injury.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to give it that money, but maybe because 2-year deal really is a 1-year deal. You can cut the back half and not take a big cap hit. You know what I mean? So he had a carry. Yep. Thank you, Philip.
Yeah, and a fullback dive.
All right, then we're good. That's it. That's all I needed.
See that, yeah.
that's all I needed. All right.
When you get a fullback dive in preseason, that man is a lock. Okay.
That is true.
No, but it is one. That's what I was going to bring up. Dude, Velus just ripped off like a 30-plus yard run. He is over 100 yards on the ground in 30. So he has 13 attempts, 111 yards, 8.5 a carry. Man, and 1 touchdown. He also has 2 receptions for 11 yards. Damn.
So Travis Homer's out of here then, I presume.
Fuck that, man. That I know Tyson threw it behind him early in this game, but you got to catch that.
He had a drop earlier too. The first drive of the game. He dropped that. He dropped that flat pass.
He has helped me in a lot of fantasy leagues, just picking him up, as a what do they call it? A streamer?
Handcuff? Yeah, streamer handcuff. Yeah.
For a week, yeah. So shout out to him for that. But man, he does not need to be on this Bears roster.
What a line. Yeah, thanks for the help there. But yeah, you gotta get off my team, bro.
Gotta get off this, man. Hey, victory formation, baby. Bears win 34-21 against the Kansas City Chiefs. If you're just now joining us for the live stream, this will kind of cross over as a podcast too, I guess. Now we're going to kind of give our instant reactions that we've already been doing. But I think this one with Velus is, I know I just said that he could maybe be a surprise cut, and I think it would be, obviously, especially with now this performance. But he does look really good when he gets to the open field, against the Chiefs today. He's so fast, man. So fast. He is a weapon.
Can't teach speed. But that was the whole point. That's why they drafted him, because he was so fast.
Yeah.
It's just that
Fast and
Luke
old.
Getsy could never figure out how to use him. I mean, obviously, he has some blame too, right? He had some drops and things like that. I'm not just blaming on the offensive coordinator, but you think with a gadget like that, with speed, you would figure, like, if he was on Mike McDaniel's offense, like in Miami, like that's all they draft are people like Velus. You know what I mean? Put him in motion, either as a distraction or giving them the ball. They figure out creative ways to use him. So I'm hoping we see some of that with Velus this year. Obviously we don't want him to be the powerhouse running back. He doesn't even need to be running back 2, right? He should be running back 4, running back 3, but maybe in the red zone. You know what I mean? Like we saw him very effective. He can get you 5 yards easily. Someone trying to catch him. He doesn't even have to read a hole. Just like, hey, run there, run quick. And we saw that literally on the pitch on 2 weeks ago, right? Where he got his first touchdown.
The touchdown. Yeah. He got to the edge really quick.
He said he didn't even know the play, basically. He just run. He said,
that's where instincts take over. He's just now, a week into this, week and a half.
Yeah.
That's the play you like to see. The problem is you just have so many other weapons above him, which is a good thing when you get to the red zone, right? Because he's option. When it comes to handing the ball to Velus on like a toss, that's probably really far down the play call sheet.
For sure.
At the same time, he does bring other qualities, and depth at other positions, because he can play running back, receiver. He can fill in. He can be a kick returner. I know he wasn't there tonight, and I think that's a really good point, Ficky, when you said maybe that actually is arrow pointing up for him, which I guess initially I didn't take. I guess I've been wrong on a lot of things today, but I mean, I think funny there. But no, for real, I think that could be. I just didn't think that was. I initially just took it as a bad thing. I really did, to see it. But maybe they're trying to find more depth behind him.
For sure. But you could be right. Hurt. He could easily get. It's not like it's like he hasn't. Oh, let me start over. It's not like he's done enough where you're like lock. You know what I mean? So, yes, would it still be a surprise because of like how he was acquired on this team, being Ryan Pohl's first draft, and but he hasn't done enough in the past 2 years for any of us to be like, oh yeah, we have full faith that that he's going to be on this team and contribute. The only thing that I feel confident about is that he knows how to return kicks. That's it. For a roster spot, which some teams do, then maybe that's enough. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. Some of these others, because what they always say, like they say, like if you can't start, like you make your way on the NFL roster through special teams. Obviously, being able to be on multiple special teams really secures that. But like we just talked about how we don't have a punt returner, and we signed literally Trenton Taylor last year just to punt return. So it's punt return and kick return are that important. So maybe he, just him being the lead, the number one in the depth chart for that position keeps him on. But if we walk away this season, and let me know what you guys think. If we walk away this season and it's like, oh, Velus Jones just was the kick returner, then I'm like, next year, no, we don't. We can go draft someone to replace, right? Don't you guys feel that? Like we got to see something else.
Oh yeah, I don't think Velus will be here in 3 years, but his impact, I think, could be felt for this year and maybe next year, because I think he's got one more year on his contract.
He was a third round pick, which means that you have a 4-year contract.
Yeah, so he would be coming up. He's a free agent after,
right? Because this will be his 3rd year, so that means next year's his last year.
Yeah.
So unless he does something really well this year, like last year will probably. I mean, the year following that, 2025 going into 2026, that'll be his final season with the Bears.
Okay.
Can I pose a question real quick?
No, don't. Why would you do something like that on a podcast? Go ahead.
I have a thought and I need to share it.
All right.
Are we ever going to see Roschon Johnson cook. So, like, what I mean is, like, when we drafted him, it was the storyline was Pole's got a steal. He's better than every other running back besides Bijan, and he got stuck behind Bijan. And if he was starting at Texas, then he would have been the greatest running back in CFB. And now he's like RB3 on what Dave just showed us. Then Velus is cooking now. So then you could argue, like, could Velus possibly come up? Because Khalil's pretty much got the 2 secured based on the preseason play time, at least in my opinion. It's like, are we ever going to see Roschon Johnson?
So I'll tell you this, unless you want to go, Fick.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll tell you this. Before the game, you saw 3 players in the running back room, not dressed, out there just chilling. You got Swift, you got Herbert, you got Roschon. We're going to see him cook. He's going to get his opportunity, but he's just too valuable to even throw out there because he is, I think he's a really good weapon along with those other 2 guys. They all kind of are a little bit different. You got Swift with that elite speed, the receiving ability. Then you got Herbert, who has really good vision, right? Also can kind of catch, not as good as Swift, but, better than a lot of people give him credit for. I think he's working on it. And you got Roschon, who's just reminds me like Jordan Howard almost, right? He just pounds the rock, man. You need that, especially late in games, especially if someone goes down because the running back room, red zone. He's also, I think, probably the best pass protector out of the 3.
No question.
What you saw Velus a little bit today, which I was kind of watching as well. He didn't do terrible.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad for a second week running back.
That's what I'm saying. I was kind of impressed, but I think Roschon is going to cook Jack. I just don't think. I mean, you don't need to. I think probably the Chiefs defense is probably happy they didn't throw him out there because he just punishes people, and I think we're going to see it, but just hopefully when it counts. And I think the Bears probably hold too much value on Roschon to throw him out in a game like this, where I think he would have cooked, right, Jack? I think he would have just been amazing out there, especially against these backups. So, but yeah, that's just my take.
I agree. No, I agree with Dave, but I think I need like a more granular definition of cook. What is, because he's not getting like the running back room is.
Give me 50 yards, man. Give me like 50 yards. Give me a 5 yards per carry kind of game, like something where like the dude can just like 10 to 10, 50 yards. Give me that. That's cooking.
You want to walk away from a game and be like, oh yeah, you're good. You're good.
I want to be like, he's as good as Bijan. That's what I want to go back to my 2023 mindset. That's what we said. That's what we said.
No, I never said that's crazy.
Out of the draft, everyone was like, he was.
No, people were saying that.
Running back who got stuck. I want to see it, man. But I feel like DeAndre Swift's contract gets in the way. Khalil's got RB2 locked up, I guess, for now. And so it's like,
but that's the thing. You think about the future. You think about the future, right? Because Khalil's gone after this year, right? And then it will be Roschon Johnson's time to shine. RB2, which, let's be real, in the NFL, RB2 can easily be RB1 because of just how these teams do running back by committee, right? The split share, a lot of these NFL teams is like, there's not a work, unless you're Derrick Henry or like Nick Chubb, right? Joe Mixon. A lot of these running back rooms are pretty, like their share percentage is like under 40%, right? For each of the running backs in the room. And we might see that this year too. Because our running back room is so deep, it doesn't mean that DeAndre Swift's getting 80% of the carries. We might see DeAndre Swift at like 50, and then maybe an even share split or like a 30-20 with Roschon and Khalil. My thing with the cooking aspect is because of him not being the workhorse, like the difference between Roschon and Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard was running back 1, so he got a higher split share. So you could see he had more opportunities to show his skill set. We may not get that because of the limited amount of carries with Roschon. It might be hard for him to get 50 yards in a game because that means 10 carries for Roschon Johnson when we may only give the ball off. We may only have 20 carries in the whole game, right? Because it's the modern NFL. You don't get 30 carries a game typically. So that'd be an expectation that Roschon's getting 50% of the snaps. I don't see that happening. Go, you're on mute. Dave.
Muted. What's that comment say? I'll read it real quick.
Okay, it's from Philip. It said, call me delusional, but I don't think Roschon has had the best opportunity to cook either. He's got an assortment of moves in his arsenal, but he needs some room to work with as well.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think he's good, but we just haven't seen it, and I'm nervous he's losing his opportunity too. Just a little bit.
No, that's a different question. That is for sure happening. I would agree with that completely.
I'm curious. I don't have it with me how many snaps he's played this preseason, right? Because does it line up with the ones, right? When it comes to other players,
we'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I bet it would be close because we haven't seen him out there too much. Similar, I think he's been out there with Tyson. Right?
Khalil probably had more because Khalil that one game was going into he was in there for a long time. But
also Roschon got the first touches, remember? And when it came to that preseason game, was it against the Texans, the Hall of Fame game? If I'm not mistaken, Roschon was RB1. And I kind of had my take saying, Herbert's RB2. I'm not even going to entertain this. I love Roschon, and I still stick with that. But I think Roschon I think he's just so good, and they hold him in such high regard and such value that's why you don't see him getting as many reps because, like Philip said, he does have an arsenal. He does have some moves that I think just are gonna be needed throughout the year.
They're definitely going to be needed. That's why he was drafted, and he was drafted not like super early, but like in a high draft pick. So I think he's going to get used. He got used last year. He's going to get used. DeAndre Swift obviously pushes him down a little bit, but he has a place. And again, you know what? He could be out there for a lot of third downs because he is the best pass blocking running back. Now that doesn't help his stat sheet. Wow, you got a nice pass protection. That doesn't look great after when you're looking at the stat sheet, but he's going to be out there and he's going to contribute in a good way. All I care about is I don't need that one running back. Like I don't need a Walter Payton. That'd be fantastic, but the modern NFL is not like that. I want a good group of guys that can do multiple things for different situational football so we can plug and play them. When it's third down, you have this type of guy in. When we're close to the goal line or short yardage, you have this type of guy in. When we're doing, more of a pass play, you need a check down, you got this guy in. I like that. And then also having that depth, which is nice, which we're arguing about right now, is nice because these NFL running backs get their knees taken out every other play, right? And they're getting beat the fuck up because it's a most dangerous position. So players are going to get injured. So maybe we see him cook, Jack, if an injury, which I hope, knocking on wood, doesn't happen to anyone, but like maybe that's where we start to, where he gets enough opportunities where you're like, oh, wow, this guy's pretty good. But RB3 might be tough for that to happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, womp womp. All right, we got a $5 super chat from Tito. Our man Tito, appreciate it. Said, now for D. Booker, definitely figuring it out. His motor is nonstop. Baskerville definitely making the team over Sewell, and Hardly might not make it. This is actually great. Let's talk about this. Thank you, Tito, for the $5.
Hardy might not make it. It's true.
Yeah, let's talk about this. So we obviously agree that Booker. Well, obviously
we even talked about Booker, so shame on us as a podcast.
That's
what
true.
The fuck are we doing?
We were saving it.
No, of course. He's been so good. But yeah, let's stick with Hardy real quick, and then we'll get to Booker.
I was going to say, well, Hardy and Sewell, right? So Noah Sewell, the linebacker 4, and then Daniel Hardy, who is defensive end 5. Daniel Hardy, just to preface, has had a pretty good preseason. Like he's had a decent amount of sacks, a lot of pressures. He's definitely, his stock's been up, but he's very far on the depth chart. Sewell, who has been on the team and has been in games because our linebackers have gotten injured, right? We only have 4 linebackers, right? And you're in sets where there's 3. So one guy goes down, you're in there. Drafted, I want to say 2 years ago, or maybe even last year. His stock has been going down. He had a lot of missed tackles today, just not great. So do we think that with Noah Sewell, who is higher up in the depth chart but hasn't had a great preseason, he's more likely to get cut, or Daniel Hardy, who's lower on the depth chart but has had a much better preseason, is more likely to get cut? Which one would you think?
Jack, you want to go? I'll let you have this first.
It's tough. It's really tough. But like linebacker 3, it doesn't seem like that's a cuttable spot. 4?
4, yeah, because you got Sanborn in front of him.
Oh, true. So I don't know. The problem with Noah is a lot of his, at least in my eyes, because he's been, I think it was last year. I think like from that point to now, from A to B, there's never been a single moment where you've been like, holy shit, like this guy looks good. There just hasn't been. He carries a lot of weight because of that last name and the way that Penny has been playing in Detroit. And so it's tough because like if you look at true skill, you'd have to assume that Noah should be gone because Hardy's had such a good preseason. But that's at least my take is like, so my vote officially is Noah Sewell.
That he gets cut, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, was this not the first time he suited up because of an injury this preseason?
You might be right. I actually don't know.
I'm almost positive.
You're probably right.
Because I know he's been out for a little bit in camp. So I'm almost positive this is the first reps he got.
Sorry. This comment's crazy. Penny is the most overrated tackle in the league. That is a bold take. I would love Penny Sewell on our team. Sure, he's getting paid a shit ton, but like he's pretty fucking good. So,
yeah, I would take him in a heartbeat.
I would take him easily.
However, Lions fans are kind of in a bad state right now because of that one guy on Twitter. That one, have you seen that yet?
Yeah, who hasn't seen that?
I went to dunk on him and I had the tweet up for like 4 minutes and it was doing well, but I was like, I can't give this. I feel like this is what he wants.
Some people
so I
are
was
saying
like,
that's Don Burr. That's what people in the streets are saying.
Oh, well then I should have done. I like Don, but that's funny.
Yeah, people are like, oh, this
Anyways,
has
if
to
you
be
don't know
Don
what I'm talking
Burr.
about, look, just go on Bears Twitter and search Lions fan or something. You'll see it. But no, I think you're right. I think the linebacker position is so deep. And I also think Sewell might be a practice squad guy. I don't think he's done enough where another team's going to be like, yeah, let me scoop in and take that from Chicago, right? I think he'll be in the running to stay on the practice squad. I think no one's going to kind of, like I said, go and get him or grab him. So I think Hardy has just proven to be exactly kind of what the Bears are needing right now as far as depth on that defense. So, yeah, I think it's weird because it is preseason. So it's like, who are these guys going up against, but at the same time, we could say that for Austin Booker, right? But sometimes when you watch the tape with even both of these guys, it is impressive what they're doing to these, other players that are fighting for their football careers. So it's nothing easy, but it is impressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why the preseason's so hard because you're like, just because someone balled out, like you don't understand the full, situation that they're in, right? Who are they going against? Right? Sure, Velus Jones went off for 100 yards. That's awesome. Like that's never a bad thing. But would he be doing that if that was starters? Probably not. Does it mean that that's not good for him? Like also, we don't know what the tape is. Like what are they looking for in the details? Right? Just because you did something, you got good yards doesn't mean you ran your route right or you hit the whole, you know what I mean? Because the talent is so depleted or compared to what you'd be seeing on Sundays that you can get away with mistakes. It's like college in essence, right? College, you see them make big plays all the time. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm just faster than you. Good luck. So it's, and we're not coaches and we don't know what like they're looking for in these players and what the weaknesses are when they're pulling up the tape, like what exactly like they're asking or like, they go into the game saying, hey, we want you to work on X, Y, and Z. We don't have that perspective or that context. So it's hard in preseason. And that's why we see those surprising cuts every year. Because we're like, oh, you look great. And then coach is like, well, yeah, but on tape, you're not doing what we're asking you to. Or another thing, too, is like age as well. Like, I don't even know Daniel Hardy's age, but has he been in the league for a couple years? If that's the case, it's like, oh, you're going against guys who are just now, some UDFAs. It's like, you should be better than them. You've been in the league for 4 or 5 years. Does that mean we're going to take you? Exactly. So 25 means that you've been in the league probably. I mean, he could have went all 4 years of college. He's at least been in the league 2 years, maybe 3.
22 was his draft.
Exactly. So he's been in the league for 2 years. So again, there's more context to that when it's like.
It's been 2 years?
Rookies. Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Drafted
We're talking about Sewell, right?
No. Sewell was 23. Talking about
okay.
Hardy.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
No, Sewell was last year, I'm pretty sure. No, you're good.
Yeah. No, Hardy is, but at the same time, sometimes it just takes a little bit to develop, right? Like,
oh, for sure.
I don't know. It is interesting. There was a comment here.
Either way.
Someone shout out the hat. I don't know if I was feeling it, but it is from Obvious Search Joe. Shout out to those guys. They're amazing. But whoever commented, I appreciate it. I don't know. I like the bear claw, but sometimes I'm like, do I want to wear a hat with the bear claw? But I was like, I needed something quick, so I threw it on.
If we start winning, maybe, and they start doing it more and more, maybe. But
no. Put bear claw. Then we can, once we get a Super Bowl ring, you throw that ring on there.
Put that bitch on there. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Anyways, but I appreciate the comment.
Bro,
I wanted to go over.
sorry. Before you do it, just before you get to the next one, because this has been wild. If I get one more ad, I'm sacrificing myself for 10 Super Bowls. That's funny, because obviously that question's been going all around.
Okay, so Big Mike, first of all, and this is a good maybe spot here. We got 15, 20 minutes left. We'll kind of finish up this show. But Big Mike, first of all, we don't control YouTube ads, so first of all, apologize for that. Thank you for sticking around, though. If you can, hit that like button. It does help grow the show, helps promote our pod on YouTube and the algorithm. And I'm sure you've all heard about it, but it really, truly does help. So hit that like button if you want to stick around with us and you're enjoying the content. And also subscribe if you can. We're going to be around twice a week during the season. And we're pumped. We're about 17 days away, I think, now. Well, you can say, we can say 16 because tonight's almost over.
It is true.
Super stoked. It's going to be a long 16 days, though. I ain't going to lie to you.
For sure. What do we have? We have Hard Knocks next week, and then
Hard Knocks is nice. And we got – I'm at the point where training camp's like, I don't even care. I'm just like, stay healthy. Just stay healthy. Let's get to week one. You get that honeymoon phase for the first month. Sometimes only 3 weeks. It depends. But I feel like the Bears have been in this training camp mode for a while. And obviously they have since they've started earlier than anybody else. But also – Ficky, I'm going to transition to you. New Face Gang, all our new members, and also we'll kind of talk about our Patreon, and then we'll end the show with, again, if you could throw some questions in the chat, we'll answer those as well. So
for sure. So again, if this is your first time, really appreciate it. Thank you for hopping on after the most impactful preseason game of your life. We appreciate that you want to take some time afterwards to chill with the boys. If this is your first time, like Dave said, go ahead and leave a new hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. We'll go ahead and give you a shout out by the end of the show. And if you're an OG, which means that this is your second time watching or your 50th, whatever it is in between, go ahead and give a hashtag OG in the chat. I see a bunch of you in there anyway, so we know you're familiar faces. We really do appreciate that. Also, if you want to support us here at the BFR podcast, we do have merch on the BFR store. That is thebfrstore.com. We have a wonderful shirt like this, BFR. We've got hats, hoodies, stickers, all bunch of fun stuff. So if you want to get a gift for yourself, for your friends, for whomever, that is the place to do it. All the money that comes from that, we just pour right back into the show to keep improving live events that we're working on, stuff behind the scenes just to make this community stronger and better. And then speaking of community, we do have a Patreon as well. And we had 2 members that joined this week. So appreciate that.
Hell yeah. Our live chat's going to be, it's going to be better. Fire. It's going to be fun. Or I'm not live chat, our live Q&A. Or what is it called, Ficky?
Yeah, mailbag. Same shit. You're good. You're good. Speaking of that, we do have a mailbag episode that we do once a month. We do giveaways on there once a month. We have, if you do our top tier, we do a private Zoom chat, which we did this past week. So we really do appreciate it. A bunch of free members in there too, so you can join and don't have to pay a dime. That's awesome. But if you do want to join and get some of the extra benefits, the extra content, first dibs to our Madden League once that starts, access to our private Discord where you can talk to Jack, Dave, and I. You can do it right there, and that's at the BFR Den on Patreon, the BFR Den on Patreon, and obviously our links to our store, our Patreon are below. So again, thank you guys all for the support, whether it's just a thumbs up, a subscribe, or you support us through merch and Patreon. We appreciate all of that and your time. So thank you guys so much.
The best way to support this show, and you guys have done it because we're over 7,000 subscribers now for the channel. The growth has been insane. We appreciate the love, but the best way, if you can't do anything else, is just hit that like button and subscribe. We appreciate it. So, boys, we have, like I said, we're getting close to week 1. Super stoked. Any other final thoughts? Just overall preseason, the entire umbrella.
How about this? How would you grade it? Grade the preseason.
Well, dude, it's hard not to feel really good about yourself here because the Bears they just did everything they wanted to do. Takeaways, right? Protect the ball. I don't think there was a lot of turnovers. They scored. They were good in the red zone for the most part. I think special teams maybe is the biggest question mark on punt return, right?
For sure.
But overall, I don't understand how you don't give this more than I don't know how you don't give it an A. I really don't.
You know what, too? Other than today, injuries are pretty good, too. And not to take away the injuries that happened today, because injuries fucking suck.
Larry Borum went down.
Yep.
Terrible.
And then the one with oh my
Coleman,
God, I can't think of Cole. Yes.
Corner.
Unfortunately, who got pulled out on the stretcher. That was not good.
Douglas Coleman III. Yep, he was down.
Yeah.
The whole entire Bears team was there too.
And not to take those injuries away, because obviously injuries do suck, and then obviously we're hoping for a speedy recovery for both of those players, right? But you could walk away and feel pretty good about the preseason and how healthy. Wow, it's not like we didn't play starters. We had starters play a whole half, and we walked away pretty clean. So adding that on to them also going 4-0, and we seeing a lot of impressive stuff from the players, all the way from starters down to like third string. I'd agree with you, Dave.
Listen to this. They outscored their preseason opponents. Again, it's preseason. I know it means nothing and absolutely everything at the same time, but they outscored them 115-47.
That's fucking crazy.
That is some crazy point differential. You know?
I don't know if I've ever seen that for us. Maybe like when I was a kid, probably like the Lovey years, there was a couple times, but Jesus Christ, bro. Like what?
I don't care if it's the preseason regular season, but you're right. We have not seen something like that in a while. It's cool though. I want to hear. So I'm going to give it an A. Ficky, Jack, how are we feeling?
I'm gonna go. I'll go A-. I'll go A-. Jack.
A+. We're 4-0.
There it is. Let's do
it. 4-0.
Hey, I ain't mad about it.
And it's not even just a.
Dave just read this craziest stat I've ever heard in my life. We went 4-0, and Caleb Williams scored a touchdown. It was the best preseason I've ever seen in my life. 21 years. This was it.
God, you're old as hell.
How's it not A+? What am I missing? What went bad?
No. What went bad? I would have liked this again. Now you're making me nitpick, but that's fine. That's what the show's
Luce didn't
about.
challenge enough. He didn't go through that process.
And then also Caleb's first quarter last week. You know, it wasn't. It would have been nice to see like Caleb like
the helmet was messed up, dude. It was messed up.
It's true.
Hey, look, you got to fix that shit.
Thank you, Phil.
I say we need to find out whose problem that is and call for their head. But yeah, I
Wait a
agree.
second.
Well, let's not throw it on.
I just realized how random that's going to sound on like our YouTube, our podcast listeners. Out of random, I just said thank you, Phil. But I'm talking. Phil threw a comment on YouTube just saying he, appreciates the show. So, anyways, I got to be way better at that.
No, it's all good.
It's too freaking random. Coleman Shelton.
What about him though, Philip? Yeah,
do you think it was? Do you think that is he?
Yeah, we didn't.
Or was he thinking that it was a Shelton that went down?
No,
is
but
that what he's
maybe.
Thinking?
Or did
he was confused?
Yeah, no, Shelton didn't go down. He definitely played. Yeah, Philip, give us some more context on that. We'll definitely give our opinion on that. Or if it's just a shout out for Coleman Shelton,
I just want to leave it up for a long time. I just want to leave this up. I don't know what I mean.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I mean, look, A-, A+, like we walking away and saying that was a fantastic preseason, right? We got to see Caleb ball out at times. We got to see Rome make some splash plays. The defense looks solid as hell throughout every game, right? So like,
good news is though, Bears coach Matt Eberflus says that Douglas Coleman was moving his limbs and gave a thumbs up on the field. He's at the hospital being evaluated right now. So that's a really good update. Yeah, because it did look scary. You never like to see it. Ficky, I think you said it. You said I hate fucking injuries.
Dude, I really do.
And I agree with you.
Especially in preseason, because like we talk about it like from the, being empathetic about these humans. These are dudes, some of these guys, like especially him, he's probably fighting. That could have been his last game. And to have it ripped away, like we talk about Theo Benedict, right? That's a bubble. It's a bubble on the fringe type of player. You literally get injured on a PAT field goal from accidentally doing the splits. And then now you're out the whole offseason. So then it's like, well, does that mean you have a chance to make the team? It obviously doesn't help you. So,
yeah. Well, I think he did have a contract. I think we kind of talked
about it. True.
I think he's here, but
I agree. But that's my point, though. It's just like it sucks. Yeah. It sucks during now. Obviously, it sucks all times. But like for these guys who are really trying to fight for their job, it's tough. You never like to see that. So
I agree. Well, boys,
we got any questions? And then we can do
let's get to questions and
let's do shout outs real quick, and then we'll do the questions if you don't mind, Jared. UV23 on Twitter with the hashtag New Face Gang. We appreciate that.
That's our
You
only
beat Jordan, though. Real quick, I do have a problem. Love that you're on Twitter. Let's get you over to YouTube, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's something Jordan would do for sure. Because
no, we appreciate it. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, we appreciate it.
Okay, so we got Plastic Rockets.
Plastic.
Definitely a true. Yeah, he's always in here with the hashtag OG. Appreciate that, Plastic. Giovanni's always in here too with the hashtag
Gio.
OG. Bear down. Appreciate that. Vontae knows. Yes, he was in here on our last episode. Appreciate that. Hashtag OG. Nico Esposito. Hashtag OG. Nico, have you been? I think it's my first time seeing you on the chat. I believe you're OG, but I wonder if he's what was that word they talked about? Not stalker. You remember it? The guy told us about Lurker. Thank you.
Talking Madden terms.
Thank you. Yeah. Lurker.
Speaking of Madden, well, no, we'll finish this. Go ahead.
And then Tito, obviously, appreciate the 2 super chats with the hashtag OG. Philip Charles Vander Hayden the Fourth. Love saying his name. Hashtag OG. So
it's like royalty.
That.
Royalty is watching us. Real quick, I wanted to bring up because I know we all play Madden here. I'm in that. I'm in a Madden franchise league, and I started out 2-0. Lost my first game yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, he's up to your before Jack that he lost.
Thank you, Jack. No, it was humbling. It was humbling. Like, have you started your franchise league yet, Vic? Like,
no, because we wait for that.
You
first
do.
patch.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have not waited. And right now it was just brutal, man. I had 2 picks in the 4th, 2 long drives. Yeah.
Man, I had.
And I also. What was the comment?
It would have been perfect. Now, it wouldn't have been dissing you, but it would have been.
Well, one was a brutal one, bro. It was a corner route to Keenan Allen because it's a fantasy draft. So you basically, it's a blind fantasy draft. You get your team. I got Keenan Allen, which is great. Not the fastest guy, but he's in good hands. Long story short, corner route. I didn't highball it. How you're supposed to highball these, otherwise it gets picked no matter what, pretty much right now. Anyways, I didn't highball it, and I thought I had the linebacker beat. Just fucking jumped up and grabbed that shit. Anyways, no one cares about my fantasy.
Going crazy. No, I mean I love Madden, so
yeah. Anyways, though,
crazier with the type of jumping.
It is cool
and
having Keenan
around.
Though. I like having.
He's great.
Bear. Yeah. So
that was my first touchdown with Madden. Was with Keenan.
Really
beautiful dot with Caleb.
Well, Caleb
yeah. Look, we might see something.
What are you
from
laughing
the fat boy.
at, Jack?
We might see something from the fat boy this year.
You're talking like you guys were like in the NFL. Like you're like, oh, that was my first touchdown was with me. And then you're like, oh wow, nice.
I remember my first touchdown pass to Keenan Allen.
Yeah, that's
what a time. What a time. And then I got injured. Fuck, yeah.
And then I lost on the corner throw. It's just
hey, bro, Madden's. I mean, I don't really like online Madden. You did
today.
You broke what?
Is that why? Really?
I was in a mutt game, and it was the easiest pass, and Josh Allen turned blind all of a sudden, and just gave a
Madden Ultimate Team. That can, I feel you on that, dude.
Oh, you do mutt? Good luck, bro. That's
just money, dude. I can't do the
money.
free.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I'm down.
I missed one.
At least $200 this season.
Oh my god!
Jesus, no wonder your monitor's gone. You're also down another.
And now I got to buy a new one. So I'm hoping FanDuel or DraftKings can bail me out tomorrow.
It feels good at the moment. I've broken one monitor in my life, and it was on an accident. And I don't know, we're getting off topic here, but fuck, it's preseason, end of it as well. But I was playing FIFA. Y'all know FIFA, right?
Of course.
I was like in high school. And I didn't even mean to. I meant to fake punch it, Anyways, I gave up some weird ass goal or something, and I went to fake, and I actually connected on it. One, I hurt my hand
for sure.
Fuck. And then I also fucking broke the monitor. One time only. But
I know that's the first monitor I ever broke. First thing I ever broke. Actually, it's not true.
Ficky, do you have self control? Any controllers?
And I have not. I fix controllers now, so if I break them, I could fix it. So that's good. But I don't throw them anymore.
I bet I could break one you can't fix.
But I'm sure.
I got 2 to send you if you can help me. These
I can fix them
right now, man. They don't even
fix
turn
them.
on.
I got my tools. I can fix some 5 controllers. So if you ever need
PS5 game. We're getting off topic here, but
it's all right. It's late. It's the end of preseason.
We appreciate everybody.
It does tie in. It does tie in because we are going to have a Madden league as well. We're going to be me, Ficky, Jack. We're probably going to be streaming on the BFR podcast with some Madden games as well. So a lot of fun stuff coming with that.
No,
so if you play Madden in the chat, reach out to us. Oh no, I don't know, man. If I'm losing to either of you, I'm gonna be a little upset. Bunch of scrubs.
I'm running shoe clock on you the whole game. You're not touching the ball.
Oh, Jack, I'm not playing you anymore. If you just what you just said is
halfback stretch, shoe clock. Nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Give me,
But in
like,
my Madden Dynasty leagues, I do like clock control. I will do that to you.
No, I mean, you can clock control.
I take it
There's no wrong with
serious.
that.
Yeah,
That's smart.
I take it very
That's
serious.
smart. You got to understand that. You want the ball last, all that stuff. That all makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For sure.
Also, if it's a potent, if I can't stop this guy, I'm like, I gotta keep
For
him
sure.
off the field. Jesus.
Absolutely. Thinking like a real
anyways,
NFL coach. Reminds me back when I used to play in the league. We do have some. No, so we do have some final questions. These people are probably like, bro.
Let's get to it.
I forgot. I was already.
No, that's not your fault.
All right.
You're just talking. Okay. UV23 said, what we thinking of our first regular season? Maybe you meant game?
Yeah.
Definitely not our first regular season, but
Must win.
I mean, must win for sure. And I think it's winnable. I think we can win it. I have confidence for the first
That's
time.
the thing with the NFL, though. I mean, I know the Tennessee, but I don't want to overlook them, because we are the Bears. Like, we can't overlook anybody. But
Nope.
I'm hoping we're getting to that point where we can. Like, hopefully Caleb and these guys are going to be so good where it's like, okay, we should win this, and we feel confident. And I kind of feel that way. However, it's such a must-win game because you got Indy in week 3.
Not looking
right?
good, by the way.
Not looking good. I know the Houston Texans are the Texans, so that's going to be a battle. But say you sneak out of there, you could start 3-0.
3-0, 2-1 at least.
I'm just saying, you shock the world. Take care of business at home. Shock the world against the Texans and go beat the shit out of the Colts. You're 3-0, feeling really good.
I will say we didn't talk about this in the preseason, but one of the low key things that's great about the preseason is that this team is learning how to win. We've come off 2 seasons where they have lost a lot of games. Learning how to win is very important. So I'm hoping that, if they win week 1, that's 5 games in a row, that feeling of winning. And you can have that in your tool belt. So when you face a quality opponent like Houston, you're more prepared.
Yeah. I can't express enough how must win this is. This is the must win, can't lose. Could you imagine going 4-0? We have Hard Knocks. We're all hyped. Everything's exciting. We're the best team in the world. And then we go into week 1 at home against Tennessee and we lose 27-6. I would never show up to this podcast again. I think 27-6. I would never be here. I would throw away every jersey I've ever owned. My house would burn down. That would be the worst thing that can happen, dude.
Your new monitor would be broken for sure.
I would break everything I own, dude. Could you guys imagine hopping on here post game being like, we just lost to Tennessee. We didn't score. Like that's what
we did last week 1. Green Bay hopped on this.
Right? Yeah. This would be worse, man. That would be the worst. But yeah, I'm hopeful we win too. I'm hoping Caleb. I don't see 300 yet, but maybe if he can 250 and a nice completion percentage, maybe a touchdown or 2, that'd be awesome. That's what I really care about.
Another thing to think about though, when we went 12-4, we lost in a horrible fashion. That second half, Aaron Rodgers, Khalil Mack game.
Talking about 2018.
They ended up bouncing back.
Special
it would be very deflating, and I'm sure we would all think the world's on fire. All fair. But it would be only 1 game. What would suck, though, is that the team next is not an easy one. So at least it's like, oh, you're down 0-1. You're probably fearful that you're about to be 0-2. So, but I get you. We need to win that game.
We're taking care of business, though.
For sure.
We are. I want to see how we lose this. Next.
Yeah, I agree. Nico, question. What's your prediction for Caleb's stat line? Week 1. It's a good one.
275 passing. 31 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. I think a rookie. I think they get him on 1.
I'm gonna go similar. I'm gonna say 1 less turnover. So I'm thinking I'm gonna say something like 260, 280, right? Passing.
Yeah.
1 touchdown, passing, 1 rushing touchdown. Right? Maybe it's like an 8-yard rollout, some type of shit like in the red zone. We saw with Tyson Bagent, and that's it. So really it looks from a passing perspective, it's like 1 touchdown, but no turnovers.
I feel like you're going to poke me in the eye. It's always like,
I do that shit.
Jack, what do you got?
So I said he needs at least 250. Everyone can clip this. 318 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 28 rushing yards, no touchdowns there, 1 interception. That interception is going to come early in the second quarter. I can feel it.
I know that.
Oh, fuck.
I know that killed your soul having to throw that interception in there.
And it hurt me bad. And I didn't want to see it. It was just a bad ball. Cole didn't come out with it. Cole
just call it tipped.
It slipped out of his hands, picked off. It goes on the stat sheet, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, 318, 28 rush yards, 3 touchdowns.
I'd be happy. I would be fantastic with that stat line for sure.
I'd be happy with 250, like I said, but 317 yards is what's happening.
Awesome.
That's crazy.
Good question.
I about that. Yeah, it's a great one. Next one, Jack. Who is QB3?
Oh, Brett Ribbon. Brett Ribbon.
Brett Ribbon. He's going to be in practice.
Austin
He's going to be in practice
Reed,
squad.
But Brett looks good, man.
Yep. I think that one's pretty easy. Yeah, I think that one's easy. 24/7 here on Twitter. Question. I love how they say question. I love that. Why have we not seen Keith Randolph at all in the preseason? Yo, this is going to make me look like an idiot, but who is Keith Randolph?
I'm convinced he's not a real person.
It's a test.
Keith Randolph?
Keith Randolph Jr. is a former football defensive lineman. He's 22.
Yep, he's from Illinois.
UDFA? Has to be. He was not drafted. Well, I know he's not drafted. I know our 5 picks.
Yep, UDFA. Rookie this year.
So he did play in the preseason. He recorded 1 tackle.
All right.
Or 1 assisted tackle. That's it.
Maybe that's why he didn't see him. Yeah, he's not he's probably not young, making the NFL 22
years old. Yeah, UDFA, it's hard. Not everybody can be.
There's only so many roster spots.
Well, gems.
What is the likelihood that Keith Randolph is 24/7 and he's just like picking our brains on like what's up with that? Like it's a burner.
I'm sorry, Keith.
I don't know.
Play Keith Randolph more.
I think that if
Randolph
Dave
should come on the pod and talk about why he's not getting snaps.
It's bad if Dave and I were like, who? Yeah, that's not a good sign. It doesn't mean that he can't have a great. That doesn't mean he can't have a great career on a team.
As much as we cover this team, I honest to God have not heard of Keith.
Yeah,
but nothing against
like a rookie coming on. I mean, if we don't shout out Keith though, shout out Keith.
Yeah, shout out Keith and his.
We love you, Keith.
So
thanks for watching.
Yeah, we do. And then we do have Tito's last $5. Did we do that one yet? Jack, we do the second. This one? Tito again with the $5 super chat. Really do appreciate it. You're right. They're going up against backups, but when you dominate the backups like Booker, Hardy, and Baskerville, they have put up their fight versus the ones. Well, we know Booker's making it. Hardy and Baskerville, they both actually have had good preseasons. We'll see. It's just hard to tell. We don't know what they're thinking in the film room and looking at tape. So.
Shout out to you, Tito, again. Appreciate the $5 once more. But Austin Booker, I don't even think we talked much on him, but man, I don't think there's much to say. He looks legit. He looks very good. I am super, super stoked to see him in the regular season against the best of the best and see if he can do. I mean, that spin move he had today almost got the sack. I don't know how that Kansas City quarterback got it out.
He had just in the first drive. First drive, he had 2 pressures and 2 QB hits. So basically almost 2 sacks, right?
Nuts.
And then he had it was almost a tackle for loss on a run to the right where he like shot all the way across and got him for like a 1-yard gain. And then on the second drive, he had another QB. He had 2 QB hits on the second drive when they came out. So, dude, and one of them, he got that third down stop from that spin that you shared, Dave, on Twitter. So, like, the dude looks good. He's had power moves. He's had spin moves, not just this week, but the other weeks that we watched him play. And I think he has he has at least like 6 QB hits, at least 5 pressures. He's got 2.5 sacks. He looks pretty good. A very dominant preseason. For rookie, he looks good. And he's fucking normal. Couple quick hints that I want to go before we get out here because I know we're about to get out. Torrey Taylor, he's so good. They didn't suit him up again. That was one of my notes. I think that's crazy just to see a punter not even go out there. But maybe they are trying to get that one guy just a little bit more looks for the rest of the league because he actually is pretty good. I can't remember his name. And then Adrian Colbert also I thought played really well. He had that insane pass breakup, PBU, where he kind of came running from midfield, basically. Middle of the field, made a great play. Probably would have been a touchdown. I was mistaken. And also shout out to Matt Eberflus, who was just dialing up some insane. He loves blitzing now, I guess.
That dude is sick. Like, he is just those poor preseason quarterbacks, man. He is just. I love this type of flus, and maybe it's not even flus. Maybe it's Washington, but they both are probably playing a role in this, and how diabolical they are when it comes to scheming during this preseason.
This defense through the preseason has had some big hits. Even like today, Kavarius Moore had a great game, which I don't think is going to make the squad, but like he was sticking people up too.
Look at Hard Knocks last week or this week where it was the Kyler Gordon hit, and you see Flus on the sidelines yelling up, hit him, light him up. Like as soon as the ball snapped, like violence.
Because that's how
I love it.
This is taught in practice.
And I think the hits principle is kind of like when it first got here. Right, I think we all were like, kind of bought in, but I don't know. It didn't seem like for NFL players, it didn't seem like
like, oh, these are grown men.
Preach.
Like this isn't
high school. And I'm not saying it's changed that they bought in, but like maybe it's the talent around them too. It just feels different. Flus has ever since like last year, last 8 games, this whole entire defense into the preseason has just looked nasty. So those are my final hits because I want to get those out there.
Yeah, no, this is a good point, and maybe we didn't give him enough credit because if you look at
talent,
Eberflus and his history, his track record, he's always had good defenses with not even the most superb talent. So, but I get it. When you lose all those fucking games, it's hard for me to be like, "Yay, Flus!" You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
And then we lost. And I don't know if you guys remember, we lost a shit ton of games.
You got to lose. You got to lose a lot to win a lot. That's what they always say.
Thank you, Velus. Appreciate that.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, shout out to Velus. Jack, anything before we go, man? Thank you, Gio. That comment on YouTube.
Da Bears.
Hello, Caleb. Sign off. Oh, hey, appreciate you all. I just did a fist pump. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know why.
That's how we sign off.
I'm gonna look that back, but that's fuck yeah, 4-0. Like I said, this was a fun preseason, probably one of the most memorable. A lot of fun players to watch. Even W. Jameis Winston over here, fucking.
That shit's the funniest celebration.
I'm clipping that. I'm clipping that shit when the Bears win. That shit is coming out. Anyways, shout out to you guys. We will be back here. I think Ficky and Jack are going to be recapping Hard Knocks on Tuesday night.
We'll try to do that.
I will not be here. I'll be in Vancouver. But I will not have any self-service. I won't be here, but I think the boys are going to have it covered. If I'm mistaken, if I'm wrong, you can yell at them. But we appreciate the love. We're over 7,000 subs. So the road to 10K subs is still on its way, and it is going fast. So again, if you can hit that like button, check out all my work again on smsportsmockery.com. This show is sponsored by them, and of course does not happen without their support. And so we appreciate them. And of course, follow the boys, all their socials here. Really good Bears content creators, and then you're not gonna miss it because week 1, like I said, is about 15 days away. So
we ready?
We're full steam ahead, and we appreciate the love. And the boys got you covered. We'll be back Tuesday.
Peace.